Hey everybody, welcome to Brit Shack. You're me, BP1, no BP2. We're here to give you more content. Now, US versus UK McDonald's, what's the difference? Fast food restaurant comparison. Now, I have an issue with fast food, right? And it's only been an issue, probably more of an issue in the last year, because I've got one that's come near me and I have a problem when it comes to breakfast at McDonald's. I have got my Uber Eats here. Look at this. Not good. Not good. This is, majority of that is McDonald's, and that is just bad. It's not until you go into your Uber Eats, look at your history, and you just go, oh, I've got a problem. So what's the difference? US versus UK McDonald's. So before I even know anything, we know, or we think in the UK, that your portion sizes are bigger. Okay? It's a common saying that our small doesn't even exist in your country, and that maybe our large is your small. I don't know how true that is. We'll watch the video. This is from Infographics. We've done a few of these in the past, and they're always very good in the information that they give. So, yeah, let's see. And also, you seem to have a lot more on the menu than we do over here in the UK. So, I don't know. Like I say, I'm trying to be better. But, every now and again, you just sit there, maybe more often than now and again, and you just sit there and go, oh, I just need to fix that craving. Anyway, let's get into it. US versus UK.
You're enjoying your trip to the UK, and you've been eating your fill of fish and chips and Cornish pasties. You even got adventurous and had some haggis and spotted dick. But now you're craving something familiar and comforting. It's good old McDonald's, looking just the same as it does in the US. Surely this will be just like at home,
Maybe.
right? Maybe not. On this episode of the Infographic Show, we'll be looking at McDonald's versus McDonald's. US versus UK. How does this iconic chain differ across the Atlantic? And who has the edge in taste, value, special items, and more? First up, presence. McDonald's was founded in the United States and has been synonymous with low-cost hamburgers and nuggets for more than half a century. Over the years, it's faced plenty of competition, from direct competitors like Burger King and Wendy's, and then from specialized burger chains like Shake Shack and In-N-Out. But nothing has come close to competing with Mickey D's dominance. Even with the onset of Starbucks, it still stands alone atop the charts, with a staggering 13,400 chains in the US as of 2024. And that presence has expanded far beyond the US's shores. McDonald's has a total of over 40,000 locations worldwide, and it's developed a presence in just about every friendly country, including the UK. There, it currently has over 1,400 outlets as of the end of 2023, an impressive number given the UK's smaller size and population. But it is far from the dominant force it is in the US.
Yeah, that's
in fact,
why it's been banned. Can't go around wearing hoodies.
It is not even close to the top fast food chain there. That would go to Greg's, a bakery chain known for its sausage rolls, which has expanded into convenience store and drive-through locations. Can't beat the old ways in jolly old England, and a sausage McMuffin will never be a...
No, this is not right. Okay, so this is too Americanized, saying that, yes, Greg's has got more outlets, right? But that's only because Greg's is tiny. You could put a Greg's in a Wendy house, It's you don't need a lot of space in Greg's. It's more of a shop front. There's no toilets or anything like that in the Greg's. It's just you can have Greg's vans or anything really, and they put themselves by train stations, and because they don't need a lot of room, they can use any existing building pretty much without having to modify too much for Greg's. So that's the reason why there's more of them. And like I say, they certainly targeted the train stations and everything else. McDonald's, we used to have them in high streets, like in your main shopping malls and stuff like that. And then they sort of branched out into sort of these sort of random locations where you can sort of have the drive-throughs and so forth. But yeah, I mean, Greg's wins based on amount of outlets. But McDonald's wins for the number of chins that it seems to be putting on me, which is another reason I need to stop eating
sausage roll. But enough about the numbers, what about the taste? If you ask the average American how McDonald's tastes, they'd say, like McDonald's. there's something uniquely comforting about the fast food place, which probably comes from the artery-clogging combo of salt and grease. While it might not be the unhealthiest fast food place around, the most famous dishes are usually something close to mystery meat in the best way. The texture of a McDonald's McNugget or the patty that goes into a Happy Meal burger feels distinctly McDonald's, and most fans like it that way. But the same might not exactly go for the UK. One of the top complaints that American visitors to UK McDonald's have is that the food just seems a little off. A common complaint is that the buns are a little more crumbly, or the fries seem to go soggy a little more quickly. To which UK customers might go, so what, that's what food's supposed to do. In general, the food tastes a little more like real food than fast food, and that might be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you're used to. And there is a reason for that. Let's go to nutrition.
Okay.
Restaurants don't exist in a vacuum in the US or the UK. Both have to answer to government authorities about safety and food prep, but also about calorie content. In both countries, there's been an increase in concern about the fat and sugar content of fast food, especially when it comes to kids' meals. Some cities have imposed new taxes or labeling restrictions on fast food places, with some politicians calling for stricter federal regulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that when you order on the app. You know, if you want like Coke Zero or Pepsi Max or whatever, you don't have to pay anything. You've got to pay a full fat Coke because it's sugar tax in the UK. You've got to pay extra. You know, in the meal, you know when you have a meal deal and you get like your burger, your fries, and your drink. You say, well, the meal, you'd have a meal, I'll have, you know, Big Mac and, you know, large fries and a Pepsi Max. Well, that's part of it. But if it's a Coke, full fat Coke or Pepsi, you got to pay the sugar tax. So it's like a extra pound something. I suppose that's their way of trying to stop it. But if people want it, they're still going to pay for it. And that's the difference, isn't it, really?
But little has happened on that front, and US fast food still tends to be high in calories. For instance, some classic items like that Big Mac and a medium milkshake in the US have 590 calories and 620 calories respectively. But those looking to watch their waistline might want to head across the pond. Surprisingly, the calorie content in the UK looks very different. The British Big Mac comes in at 508 calories, a Coke will have 40 fewer calories, and fries are almost 30 calories less. The biggest decrease comes in the milkshake, though, which sheds a whopping 250 calories. So, what's the cause? Is it government intervention? And can Mickey D's possibly taste the same with such a difference in nutrition? It all comes down to the tail of the tape. Let's look at the ingredients. Both US and UK McDonald's make it easy to find what goes into their food on the website. This is essential for people with food allergies or other special dietary needs or restrictions, but it's also useful for those who keep tabs on their nutrition. For those who are used to the US McDonald's fare, they might be shocked by just how many ingredients there are in their food. For instance, that Big Mac contains 68 ingredients, and in the US, a whopping 31 of them are in the bun alone. The UK, only 19.
Something wrong there. There's something wrong with that picture, right?
31 of them are in the bun alone.
So, how can we only have 19 ingredients and you have 68? That's not right, is it? 68 ingredients in a Big Mac. I mean, 19's bad. I'll be like, well, where'd you get 19 from? But I suppose by the time you've got, you know, making the bread, you need your flour, egg, water, you've got your sugars, your beef. It soon adds up, I get that. But 68, 31 ingredients is just in the bun. What do they put in this crap? I mean, that's got to be like additives and stuff, because we all know when you get bread out at home, you know, even if you don't tie it up, you know, the next day, that first 2 slices is just stale. So I suppose they've got to put some crap in it to actually...
The UK, only 19. The UK is known for its more stringent approval process for food additives than the US.
That's true,
Most food additives are used to prolong shelf life and improve the appearance of food, rather than improve their flavor. Additives like sodium acid pyrophosphate in the fries are designed to keep
They've got such big hands. What's that about? That just looks wrong.
them from turning gray when frozen. That is missing in the UK. along with the trans fats used in the US.
Yes.
In fact, the fries in the UK contain just 5 ingredients: potatoes, 2 types of oil, dextrose, and salt. In general, UK McDonald's will be much less likely to have preservatives and high fructose corn syrup than the US version, the latter of which is a huge contributor in calories. But what about where it counts? The menu. Everyone knows the US McDonald's menu inside and out. There's a wide selection of burgers ranging from those small snack-sized ones to quarter-pounders to the famous Big Mac. Then there's the McNuggets, the Filet-O-Fish, and some chicken sandwiches. For sides, it's pretty much fries, and that's it. But who really needs more? They keep it simple in the US, and that tried-and-true approach has helped them stay at the top of the fast food charts, with many cult favorite items falling by the wayside over the years. But you might not be missing them forever if you have a plane ticket. One of the biggest surprises for American visitors to the UK is how many of their old favorites have made a comeback over here. One example is the Chicken Selects, a grown-up alternative to the famous McNuggets, made with cuts of breast meat and breaded in slightly spicier batter. They're still a regular on the menu at UK McDonald's, for those who feel they are ready to graduate from the nugs. And for those who feel like eating light, a side salad is still available in the UK, along with larger salads and chicken wraps. In total, the menu is almost twice the size in the UK compared to the American offerings. And that's before we get into one big area of the...
I'm shocked because maybe it's clearly a myth. The myth is that you've got more in the US than we've got in the UK. I didn't realise you didn't have Chicken Selects that's just come back. I mean, they are good. The salads, that's always a staple one because you're always with somebody that's watching the weight and has to have a salad. Okay, breakfast. This is my downfall. I have double sausage and egg McMuffin with an extra bit of cheese, hash brown, and an extra hash brown. Oh, it sounds bad, doesn't it? What else? Oh, I have a tea. I have a PG Tips tea in the UK as well.
Menu. How we kick off the day. Breakfast at McDonald's is iconic. Who doesn't know Egg McMuffins or those crispy hash browns? And then there's the big breakfast, one of the most famous and affordable fast food meals around. There are lighter options like the sausage burrito and the fruit and maple oatmeal, and coffee from the McCafe section. But the menu has definitely shrunk over the years, with favorites like the McGriddles and the steak, egg, and cheese bagel largely disappearing from the offerings as they streamline the offerings. And this is one of the areas where the difference in culture becomes much clearer. There are plenty of ways to have a traditional British breakfast in McDonald's. For one thing, simple sandwiches like bacon rolls with tangy brown sauce are available for those avoiding dairy. Traditional porridge is one of the lightest and most affordable items on the menu and has a cult following among those who grew up on it. But for those who want a heartier meal, there are also some big surprises here, like a cheesy bacon flatbread or a sausage and egg breakfast wrap with brown sauce. This is probably the area of the menu where visitors from either country will be the most surprised. But what if you come into McDonald's with some unique dietary needs? It's time to talk about the special diet section. If you're visiting McDonald's in the US and you want to stay away from animal products, you're not going to have an easy time. You might be able to cobble together a snack out of fries and desserts, but there is
you wouldn't really go there anyway. I know you probably like, I will take the kids there, and the kids can be nomming on their beef burgers or whatever, and you'll be sat there as a vegan or whatever. Maybe that's the only reason, but surely you probably wouldn't want to eat from there anyway if you were vegan. Maybe vegetarians maybe a bit different, I don't know, but vegan probably not.
No main course to be found. The company used to sell a veggie burger called the McPlant in a few test markets using Beyond Meat, but it flopped, just like several previous attempts. At breakfast, you're gonna do a little better, with options like hotcakes, eggs, and hash browns making it easier for vegetarians. But in the UK, you might feel like you're at the feasting table. The UK has a much larger South Asian population than the US does, with many abstaining from beef in particular, and meat overall in some cases. The McPlant was a hit over there, as were the veggie dippers, nugget-shaped fritters filled with a mix of spiced vegetables, which can be had on their own or in a sandwich called the Vegetable Deluxe. Even vegans can enjoy all of these, as well as desserts like the non-dairy strawberry and chocolate scoop, a new frozen dessert currently being rolled out. That's the regular menu. Now let's talk about the specials. If you've been eating at McDonald's for a while, you might remember occasionally seeing a surprise on the menu. Remember Fish McBites, the Arch Deluxe, and of course the beloved McRib? They were only around for a limited time. And oh, do you miss them? Probably.
We've currently got a Philly, the Philly cheese stack, I think it is. It's sad that I know this stuff, isn't it? But yeah, that's got like large onions in it and the Philly cheese and everything. It does look good. But
in recent years, the U.S. McDonald's has become less ambitious with these specials, usually rolling out slight variations like spicy chicken sandwiches with different sauces. But it is rare to see something that doesn't match the core categories of food items. There is one exception in the dessert menu, where new flavors of pies and shakes come out regularly. But in the UK, diversity rules the day. The specials in the UK tend to stretch the bounds of the menu much more, with the offerings in 2024 including fried cheese bites and a chili double cheeseburger. In the past, McDonald's in the UK has offered foods based on classic Indian cuisine, including an Indian chicken burger that was served on garlic naan bread. McDonald's has a thriving business in India as well, where many unique items show up, but only a few of them have made their way over to the UK so far. Now it's time for a sweet finish. Let's look at dessert. The dessert menu in the US is fairly limited, consisting of fried apple pies and specialty pies, plus regular and seasonal shakes and McFlurries. You can also get more wholesome options like apple slices or the fruit and maple oatmeal for breakfast. Plus, if a miracle happens and the ice cream machine is working, go to town. But there is one big addition to this, but maybe not for the kids. The US McDonald's chain has become very well known for its McCafe menu, which features a massive selection of sweet drinks ranging from simple lattes to indulgent coffee and caramel concoctions topped with whipped cream. But at a UK McDonald's, it's a very different story. Looking for coffee? Your choice is coffee or a latte. No fancy sweet drinks here, but you won't.
That's because we've got a Starbucks, a Costa, a friggin' Cafe Nero on every corner of every place you ever walk around. I think they just see it as far too much competition in the UK. It just blew up just before COVID, I'd say. Well, maybe not. Maybe even longer than that. 8 years or something like that. You know, coffee, huge. It just took over everywhere. So I don't blame McDonald's for not really going after it in the UK.
Be missing out. The dessert selection here is impressive. In addition to pies and McFlurries, you'll find other frozen desserts like the vegan strawberry or choco scoop and the ice pop-like McFreezy. But the baked goods selection here is where the UK McDonald's really shines, featuring original treats like the mixed berry muffin and multiple flavors of donuts. In fact, the place is well known as a dessert spot over there. But McDonald's...
It's not well known as a dessert spot. I don't know. It's certainly not where I'm from. People want to go there because they want a McFlurry. It's still something that, you know, the kids want. They don't go in there for muffins or, you know, they want ice cream. Every kid wants ice cream. So, you know, yeah, mainly it's McFlurries, and they change very, very often depending on all the deals that they've got with whatever brands they're doing, whether it's Galaxy chocolate or Cadbury's chocolate or Rolo editions, cream egg editions. You know, it depends on the time of year, seasonal as well. We've got Easter coming up, so all the Easter egg ones will be on there. Mini egg one we'll have. That'll be in there too.
McDonald's needs new customers, so how about kid appeal? McDonald's in the US was a kid sensation for the longest time. Known for its colorful mascots like Ronald McDonald and Grimace, its elaborate play places, and
I've never seen this big purple thing. I mean, it's obviously called Grimace for a reason. What's that about? Ronald McDonald, big in the 80s over here in the UK, you know, big plastic statues when you used to go into McDonald's and stuff. Now, all gone. Don't see any characters. You know, you see a little bit of in the Happy Meals and stuff, but no characters, because they say they scare kids now. I mean, come on. It's just a bloody fictional character.
Its birthday parties, and most famously its Happy Meals, which come in a colorful box with a toy. However, growing concerns about the nutritional content of Happy Meals led McDonald's to minimize its marketing to kids. The Happy Meals and its toys remain, but most of the rest have been phased out, and the current design of McDonald's is less colorful than it used to be. And over in the UK, it is a very similar story. You might notice a few subtle differences, like the fact that Happy Meals come with a choice of a toy or a book in the UK, and fish fingers are an option in the kids menu. No doubt owing to the massive popularity of fish and chips in the UK. The palate of children is a little different there. But similarly to the US, the play places have mostly been removed and the use of famous mascots is minimized. However,
yeah, it's the same. I mean, sorry, I had to stop it there because it just reminded me when in the kids' menu, Happy Meal, I don't know if it's the same in the US, he hasn't mentioned it yet. But you get your chicken nuggets, say. And then they give you a choice of carrot sticks or fries. I mean, I don't think I have ever seen any child in McDonald's eating carrot sticks. Never. That you go in there, you don't go in there for that, do you? I'd stay at home. I'd be like, I'll just stick some nuggets in the oven, peel a carrot, chop them up. You wouldn't, you know. No, they don't go in there for that, do they? They go in there for the fries, let's face it.
The viral Grimace shake did make its way over there eventually, even if the memes around it didn't make it seem all that kid-friendly. But there is one factor that is on everyone's mind these days. How does McDonald's hit the pocketbook? Inflation is on everyone's mind at the moment, and McDonald's is no different. The price has gone up quite a bit on the famous budget fast food favorite. It's estimated that the average value of a meal featuring an entree, fries, and a drink could cost about $11 in the US right now. That is still affordable compared to many lunch spots, but certainly enough to make many people look toward the value menu. Is your wallet going to feel better after a trip to the UK? No. Well, airfare aside, maybe a little. The UK went through its own inflation crisis after Brexit, but the worst-case scenarios have mostly dissipated. While the US is ranked 7th overall in the average price of a McDonald's value meal, the UK is all the way down at 26th, with the average price of an equivalent meal being just over $9. That is definitely a savings, but the portions tend to be slightly smaller in the UK as well, which helps the calorie.
You have not talked about pork. You are right at the end of the video, and you have not talked about the one thing that the Brits think about American portion sizes. Didn't even mention that. Didn't say, right, a large fries in the US is how many grams compared to the UK? Yes, I've done grams. That is a big factor. He's just slipped it in there at the end, sort of saying, oh, you know, it's cheaper in the UK, but the portion sizes are a little bit smaller. How smaller? Because we could be talking 1.5 meals here, smaller. Yeah.
Counts. And the winner is whichever one you grew up with. Because we all know McDonald's tastes best when you're eating it after a soccer game and just got that super cool toy. Which McDonald's reigns supreme, US or UK? Share your favorite and your go-to order in the comments. For more on
fair play. I mean, it's a good breakdown to a degree, to be honest with you, that we, showing the differences between the two, for sure. Let me know in the comments, what's your go-to burger choice? Have you ever had the carrots there? No. So yeah, that was a good video from Infographics. Like I say, the portion sizes are the ones that I'd like to have known a bit more about. But other than that, I think yeah, we're doing all right over the UK compared to the US on some of the stuff in there for the menu and calories and stuff like that. So that's good. That's more reassuring. It doesn't help my waistline and the breakfast problem that I seem to have. Let me know how I can stop that if you've got any tips on that. But yeah, there you go. I thought I'd drop that one in for you today. Excuse me. That's the McDonald's from earlier. We'll be back tomorrow for another reaction, myself and BP2. Until then, it is a goodbye from me, and thank you so much for coming with me today on this lovely Saturday. Yes, it is Saturday. I thought I'd do you a quick video. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. If you stayed here this long, you know what, I've done this video after having a Chinese. So bad.